Hello guys, welcome to a new video. So I recently got my hands on one copy of the first Tomb Raider movie novelization, and it was more interesting than I expected. The book is pretty much the same as the movie, but just with some extra details and minor differences. I will mention the most interesting ones, so let's start. The novel starts with a chapter about Laura's father. Basically, most of it is just Richard saying that he doesn't trust anyone but needs to pass the knowledge that he has to someone. He considers quite a few people, but then he realizes that he can't trust them really. And in the end, when he sees Laura, he says that the person he needed was there all along. We also see a bit of them bonding, and that's it for the first chapter. So, do you remember the dress that Lara uses in the end of the movie? After taking a shower, Lara goes to her wardrobe and only has the dress there. That was Hilary's Christmas present some time ago. Hilary says that he didn't finish the laundry yet, and Lara threats him by saying that she's going downstairs to lunch naked. So he gave her her normal clothes. And this is just to show how Lara was crazy and didn't care. It is also mentioned that there is in her room a portrait of Lara in a green velvet dress with her father. I wanted to mention this because on the Croft Manor DLC from Rise of the Tomb Raider, you can also find the same portrait in Richard's office. The only difference is that you also have Hannah there. Alex is mentioned a few times in the beginning of the book. On the day of Lara's father's death, he sent her a letter despite not talking to her over 6 months, and Lara didn't like that. Another thing that I thought it was weird, it was the fact that Richard would smoke next to Lara, and that is a bit of bad parenting. Shame. Now some history about the Illuminati. So, a meteorite fell, leaving behind a metallic artifact that healed people and made them more intelligent. The king of the area ordered them to work on the stone, which then took the shape of a triangle with an eye. With this artifact, they created an incredible and perfect city which had a pyramid that served as a temple to protect the artifact. But other jealous people from other cities decided to invade this city and destroy it. The high priest holding the triangle prayed to save the city. An eclipse occurred due to the alignments of the planets, and that's when the triangle reached its absolute power. A light emerged from the top of the pyramid and spread through the city, only killing the invaders. Upon witnessing this, the high priest realized that the power of the artifact is too dangerous and that no human should use it. Therefore, he asks the craftsmen to destroy it. They discovered it was impossible to do so, so they divided in two parts. One remained in the pyramid and the other would be hidden in the ends of the world. But before hiding the triangle, the craftsmen created a clock that would help to locate it later. They wanted to bring back their ancestors, so they became an organization called the Illuminati. Continue now the story of the movie or the book. Lara told Paul that Wilson was like an uncle to her and that she had known him since she was a child. As a result, Paul had a conversation with Wilson where he realized that despite betraying Lara, Wilson could change his mind and turn against them to help Lara. Therefore, Paul decides to kill him after extracting all the information he had about the artifacts in Lara's possession. In this book, we learn how Paul hired Alex. He went to Alex's house, who initially wasn't interested in the job because he had a cousin's wedding to attend. However, when Paul showed him the clock, Alex was impressed and accepted the offer. Fun fact is that Alex has a photo of himself with Lara in Tibet, where he stole her prayer wheel. That is an item that we also can find in Tomb Raider 2. While Bryce tries to decipher more clues, Lara tries to find things to keep herself entertained, and even calls Alex to come over for dinner at her house. She didn't want to continue the friendship, but before parting ways, she also didn't want to leave things like that with Alex, especially after he had sent her a letter on the anniversary of her father's death. Lara even called Alex's mother, who was also looking for him, and was furious that he hadn't shown up at the wedding. Do you remember this photo? Apparently, it is a group of mercenaries with a significant number of ex-marines. Lara met them when she was training for her first expedition for Natla. She was diving while Hillary remained on the boat. A storm appeared and he was saved by the group of mercenaries who he asked to rescue Lara under the sea. When their leader arrived, he saw that Lara was safely sheltered and didn't need any help. Once the storm calmed down, went back to the surface. Lara never took Hillary on expeditions again because he would panic over anything. The leader of the group arranged a dinner and proposed to Lara later, but she rejected him. He was okay with that and they remained friends. She was at the bar playing games with him on the night before her job for Natla. In the part where the locals are trying to open the tomb with ropes, Paul, who wants them to work faster, considers killing one or two of the locals to motivate them. However, Alex, who was shocked by the idea, manages to convince Paul to be the one to motivate them instead and joins them in pushing the ropes. The girl that Lara encounters near the tomb occasionally transforms into an old lady. She tells Lara that the others who are trying to enter the tomb are fools because the god inside will kill them for separating him from his lover, the Aspara. This refers to the statue that was destroyed to unblock the entrance. The girl also tells Lara that there is another entrance and points towards the jasmine flowers, the flower that Lara's father told her to never forget. There's also an hint that girl was the Aspara, so it was kind of like a spirit of the supernatural stuff that was in the tomb. Unlike in the movie where Lara falls into the hole, here Lara pulls the root of one of the jasmine flowers, revealing a hole in the ground. Lara takes a look at it using a flare and jumps down. From the very first tomb, Paul was already considering killing Alex once he was no longer needed. Inside the tomb there was Hanuman, the monkey god. That's why the statues had monkey faces. In the tomb there are some minor changes. Lara manages to shoot down two arms of the golden Shiva statue with all those swords. The statue is after the person that has the triangle, so in one part Lara throws the triangle to Alex that gets a bit confused but then realizes what she has done, so he throws back the triangle to her. Paul several times through the story tries to use Alex to be able to manipulate Lara. He asks Alex which people are important to Lara, and so after the adventure on the tomb, he manages to track Lara's phone call to Bryce and calls her back trying to arrange a meeting. He also kinda threats to do something to Bryce and Hillary. When Lara speaks to the monk, he sometimes transforms into her father and tells her that she must destroy the triangle. In Venice, before meeting with Paul, Lara spies on him having a conversation with Alex, where he threats him. However, she is interrupted by someone unexpected, Bartoli's brother. Bartoli was the villain of Tomb Raider 2. Lara throws one of his men off the building and runs because she wanted to follow Alex, who was walking away on the street below after talking to Paul. Later, when Lara sneaks in while Alex is taking a bath, it's the same as the movie. The differences are that she's waiting for him in the bed instead of the chair, and Alex grabs a gun and points at her. They have a complicated conversation and she leaves. One of Lara's objectives is just to see if Alex had something on his pockets that could lead to a clue of the other piece of the triangle location. After meeting with Paul, Lara visits Alex again and catches him playing poker with other men. In the movie, there is a scene of this that was cut. Lara tries to convince him that he shouldn't work for a man like Paul. She doesn't get the answer she wants from Alex, but she leaves him reflecting on things. She also takes the half of the triangle that she had hidden under his bed without his knowledge while he was taking a shower the first time she was there. When Lara uses the watch to retrieve the other part of the triangle, she disappears and passes through various locations such as the city of Illuminati, Egypt, Croft Manor, where she sees her grandfather, and other places until she returns to the destroyed version of the city. At the top of the pyramid, she retrieves the triangle piece from a dead body. When the leader of the Illuminati gives a speech while preparing to assemble the pieces of the triangle, shadows and voices of the Illuminati ancestors appear. After placing the sand grain from the clock into the triangle, Lara began to have different visions of the past. One of them even showed her father in the council of the Illuminati, standing next to the right of the leader, and it also showed how Paul was really mad that he wasn't the one in that place. Then Paul says that she died in a fire she caused as a child. Lara realizes that it was a mental battle against Paul, and she starts to try harder to control all that. So there isn't that silly race to see who reaches the top of the pyramid first to grab the triangle. Before Lara turns the knife, she tries to shoot Paul, but it doesn't work because she could only attack him with something that was there in that exactly moment. So that's why it had to be the knife. After being stabbed, Paul orders his men to kill Lara and Alex. They escape and find shelter, however the tomb begins to collapse, and the mercenaries decide to leave, which makes Paul really mad. Afterwards, Bryce and Pims appear. Alex ends up living with them when Lara says to them to leave. And just like in the movie, Paul taunts her with her father's watch and a photo of her mother. The minor change is that he kisses the photo, and that makes Lara really mad. After the typical fight with Paul, the books imply that Paul would be swallowed by a chaotic time storm. In the end, when Lara is back home, she was supposed to have dinner with Alex West, and I wonder if that could be the reason why she finally decided to wear that dress. And yeah, basically it took me the first 2 chapters to start enjoying this book. I was afraid that it would be just a copy of the movie. I had a bad experience with Prince of Persia book because it was exactly the same as the movie. There was no difference really. Anyway, if you like to read, I recommend this book. It will be a different perspective. It develops the story a bit more than a movie, and I think that's pretty cool. I also love the small references to Natla, to Bartoli, and yeah, that was pretty cool. And so to end, I would love to know if you knew about this book and if you are curious to read it. Like always, don't forget to leave a like to help the video reach more people and subscribe for more videos. Until next time, bye bye!